Saw you in your summer dress. Now you spend your days living rent-free in my head. Think it's time I have a cigarette, take off the edge. Getting tired of the internet. She been out there looking for that real life feeling again. Mix it with a little cinnamon, straight to the head. And it feels like one of those nights when the sky is amazing. The world is on fire and the people are raging. See everybody wanna show off when they're feeling alright. But they're saying that the world is on fire. Who's gonna save it?
Welcome, O wanderers of the wavelength, to the inner sanctum of the Chilluminati. You didn't find us by accident. You were tuned in. Behind this veil of shadow and signal, we gather, not to follow, but to question. So light your candle and lean back 33 degrees. Close the blinds and forget what they told you was real.
That you can go on. And your wheels sinking low.
If you have a golf ball-sized consciousness, when you read a book, you'll have a golf ball-sized understanding. If you have a golf ball-sized consciousness, when you read a book, you'll have a golf ball-sized understanding. If you have a golf ball-sized consciousness, when you read a book, you'll have a golf ball-sized understanding. When you look out, a golf ball-sized awareness, and when you wake up in the morning, a golf ball-sized wakefulness. But if you could expand that consciousness, then you read the book, more understanding. You look out, more awareness, and when you wake up, more wakefulness. It's consciousness. And there's an ocean of pure, vibrant consciousness inside each one of us. And it's right at the source and base of mind, right at the source of thought, and it's also at the source of all matter.
My name's Jimmy. The Chilluminati is on the air.
They say every rose has its thorn, just like every night has its dawn, just like every cowboy sings a sad, sad song. Every rose has its thorn. Yeah, it does. I listen to a favorite song playing on the radio. Yeah, the DJ said love's a game of easy come and easy go. But I wonder, does he Has it ever felt like this? And I know that you would be here right now if I could have let you know somehow. I guess every rose has its thorn, just like every night has its dawn.
Versus just ride. The world is like a ride. You think it's real, it's just a ride. We can change it any turn we want. It's only a choice between fear and love. The world is like a ride. You think it's real, it's just a ride. We can change it any turn we want. It's only a choice between fear and love. The ride goes up and down, round and round. It has thrills and chills, and it's very brightly colored. It's up and down, round and round, and it's very loud, loud. Don't worry, don't be afraid, it's just a ride. And we can change it any turn we want. It's only a choice between fear and love. Why are we here?
I think we're part of a greater wisdom than we will ever understand. A higher order. Call it what you want. Know what I call it? The big electron. The big electron. The big electron. It doesn't punish, doesn't reward. It doesn't judge at all. It just is, and so are we. For a little while.
The ride goes up and down, round and round. It has thrills and chills, and it's very brightly colored. It's up and down, round and round, and it's very loud, loud. Don't worry, don't be afraid, it's just a ride. And we can change it any turn we want. It's only a choice between fear and love.
The big electron.
It's Ground Zero Plus. It's the Saturday night Chilluminati Rock and Reel. Are you there?
I am here.
Excellent.
Wipe away the teardrop from your eye. You're lying safe in bed. It was all a bad dream spinning in your head. Your mind tricked you to feel the pain of someone close to you leaving the game of life. So here it is, another chance. Wide awake, you face the day. Your dream is over, or has it just begun? There's a place I like to hide, a doorway that I run.
I think I've achieved synchronicity
With what?
with this silent lucidity. I feel like I'm floating in space, like a spaceman on a spacewalk who lost my connection to the ship, and I'm just floating, weightless.
You feel like
falling.
Major Tom?
The man who fell to earth. What was that, a movie, The Man Who Fell to Earth, or was that a TV show? I think that was Bowie, right? Man Who Fell to Earth.
Yeah, that was Bowie.
Wasn't there some other show where some other guy fell to earth too? I think there was a TV show.
Oh, maybe. I'm not sure about that.
Me neither. Well, welcome everybody. Saturday night, Rock and Rio's here. I'm here. Cac is over there somewhere in the wings. I did talk to Cac. He will join us. David Hodges, what's happening? It's good to see you. Miss Ranmack, Mike Montz over here. Chris is over here. Mitch, Chris is saying some dough for Into the Microcosm signups. That's good. Looks like the chat room is lively over at Ground Zero Plus. You want to shout out the chat room in Ground Zero Plus? Are you in there?
Not yet. I'm getting there.
All right. Well, once you get in there, why don't you shout them out and let them see what's happening? So last night, once we got rolling towards the end of the show, we were talking about where is everybody. And we're kind of talking about like lifestyles, how things used to be. When you went to get a pair of shoes, there was somebody there to wait, measure your foot and make sure the shoe fit right and all this. Went to the restaurant, you're sitting there eating bread and drinking water, and, they're bringing you salads, and you're sitting there forever talking and laughing and having a good time. We're just pointing out how, a lot of things that we were used to, they seem like they've gone away, man.
Yeah.
Don't you think? I mean,
I do think it's not the world we grew up in anymore. I guess is a good way to put it.
No.
Everything's gone digital. Everybody stays home and calls a car and gets their food delivered and gets their groceries delivered and gets their whatever else delivered, Amazon style.
Yeah.
You don't see people in the malls. You don't see the mall rats running around meeting each other on a Saturday afternoon, just interacting with random people that just happen to also be doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
No more Orange Julius.
Matt's over there at the chat room, and woohoo, Amber too. She's over there also. Who else is there? That's it over here that I can see. There's only about 30 people over here right now, but it's Saturday night. Chilluminati people chill. Rowdy's over here now too. What's up, Rowdy? Rowdy actually has a pair of Jimmy Jean tennis shoes.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I know.
Were they the bunny ones or the?
No.
What did you have on? You had something on them, right?
I think he got the low tops.
The low tops.
Yeah, I think he did. But how's that leather? How's that Italian leather wearing out over there, Rowdy? I need to know quality control. I have to get some quality control going. I don't even have a pair of those shoes because I had to sell 4 pairs before they would go into production, and so, I never got a pair either. Rowdy's got a pair, and I don't even have a pair. I think it has the Jimmy Jean logo on it also, believe it or not.
Yeah. Well, you should reissue the special microcosm shoes, man.
Dude, I have like 9 pairs of shoes I designed. Really cool ones, too. But,
I think Rowdy really liked them shoes, too.
No, they were good shoes, man. That's what I mean. I wouldn't put my name on something that was a piece of crap. And that's what I mean. He bought them, and I think he loves them. He's in there. Rowdy, give us the ones up on the tennis shoes, the Italian quality. Badass, he says. 3 years later, he needs another pair. Damn.
See, I told you could start selling shoes again, man.
I don't know, man. I'm weird like that, man. You know what I mean? We've never done any of that shit. We talk about it, but like doing shirts and all that. I don't know. I never promote it. I forget to say anything about it. And then we just move on to something else. Kind of like the show, If something happens and then next thing you know, we're off to something else and never looking back. But, that's the way it goes. I don't know, man. I was kind of reminiscing earlier today. Just thinking about, this situation and just how everything is and, where it's come from and where it is now, just compared to where it used to be. All the people that used to do shows that ain't here anymore. All those hours.
There's a lot of people who have just vanished off the scene completely.
No, it's literally unbelievable when you think about it. There's so many, I hate to say it, but there's so many dead bodies laying around this independent media. There's corpses, man. People.
Oh, that too, yeah.
I'm just saying, people have spent their lives doing this and never even got a word of recognition for it or a penny. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can think of a lot of people that passed on, and people couldn't even put it together, get. I don't know, man. I mean, you think about like a Jordan Maxwell spent his whole life doing this, talking about, exposing secret materials and, different ideas and ways of looking at things and showing information that you weren't aware of before. It's hard to know what to think, but that's why here at the Chilluminati, we don't tell you what to think. We bring information. We talk about it and let you decide for yourself. We're not ramming our opinions down your throat. You know what I mean? People that ram their opinion down your throat. Next thing you know, you're thinking like them.
Well, we definitely have our opinions, but
I generally
we share them in a think about it this way kind of way, right?
Well, I don't
really
share.
we don't really force them.
Typically, I don't share my opinion on here. What I do is I share facts, and I share facts with emotion. So at times, when I'm sharing facts, it may appear as though it's my opinion, but it's clearly not my opinion. Unless you ask me what my opinion is, you probably don't know what it is. Simply because that's the way you got to be on here. You know what I mean? I can't bring how I feel to every situation. You know what I mean? I have to. It's almost,
you have to be logical, analyze things. From, an open perspective.
Yeah, that's about asking questions, man. You know, because I got to be honest. I've learned a lot of things in this world since I've been alive. And the one thing that I know for sure is the more I learn, the more I know I don't know shit. That's why I don't, I mean, it's when you have facts and figures about technology and actual things that are going on, that's one thing. And then extrapolation, supposition based on limited information, making projections, logical projections. Because, obviously the easiest, when you're troubleshooting, the easiest, simplest thing is probably always the thing that's, once you start getting weird and complicated and making it all weird, you'll end up coming back to finding out it was the simplest solution in the first place. And most people are looking for something complicated, and nothing's really that complicated.
Hey, Occam's razor, right? It's usually the easiest solution.
Exactly. It's like, I was talking with Amber earlier today about wireless stuff, and when you're searching for a signal. So when I used to do wireless stuff, I would go in and I would install a system in a building. So I'd have to go on the building with a Yagi antenna, which kind of looks like your old TV antenna. It's got like wings on it. And
I know what a Yagi is.
Yeah, but I'm telling everybody that doesn't know. And so you hold it and you're looking for the cell site. You want to find the best signal. And so once you move your antenna back and forth until you dial it in, right? And you get the signal. Now you got a good signal, it's strong, you're looking at your spectrum analyzer, it's really good. But you adjust your vector just a little bit to the left or a little bit to the right. You can easily dissolve your signal away because you don't have a good enough lock on it. Or you can double the power of the signal that you thought you got just by making a minor adjustment. And it's like that, what we're talking about here. It's that minor adjustment that may tune you in specifically. It's not always major changes that you have to make in your life or in yourself. It's more, there's subtle changes that you can make that will make a giant big difference, Just even just deciding to take 2 or 3 seconds and think before you respond, and just don't react. Like not reacting, responding. Thoughtful response rather than emotional reaction. You know what I mean? Just that simple little thing could change your whole world for you,
And those 2 seconds of silence at times actually ends up shifting the control of the conversation back to you, right? Because you've thought about the response, you've made an intelligent decision instead of just shooting off at the mouth or whatever. And, it kind of changes the tone of things when you give well-calculated answers.
All right, well, I don't want to get too self-helpy around here.
Yeah. Well,
I don't want people to start getting healthy, start thinking for themselves, and realizing they don't have to make a small adjustment and they could change everything for the better. I don't know. Don't listen. Who am I? I'm just some dude on the internet. My opinion doesn't matter. It's like, let me tell you my opinion. Really? Why are we listening to my opinion? What gives me the right to tell you my opinion? Do I have some power over my opinion matters? Listen to it. Let me tell you what my opinion is, Rio. I think your opinion matters, though, Rio. Like, I'd ask you for opinion. I'd say, hey, Rio, what do you think about this?
Yeah, exactly. As part of discussion, it's important to, understand what the other person's talking about and what they think about. or how they view the situation, you know, because we all have different takes on the same thing. You know, we can both could be right? You're looking at from two different angles, you get two different perspectives, but they're both pointing in the right direction.
Well, so anytime that you're speaking publicly, like you're speaking out loud, and another person is there, do they have a right to tell you what their opinion is? Must you listen to another's opinion about something?
I don't know if you must. I mean, I guess it's kind of the polite thing to do. If
Well, how about if someone just doesn't give you their opinion unless you ask for it? Wouldn't that make things a lot easier?
Of course. I mean, if somebody asks for it, then it's only appropriate to give them the response.
Right, but why should you be on the butt end of somebody's opinion if you didn't ask for it? And you're not even interested in their opinion. They don't have any reason to give you their opinion because they don't have any information or they're not well versed in the situation.
True.
They don't have enough information to make an educated opinion, so they make an uneducated opinion and use their emotional traps to make you feel bad about whatever it is that you had a good idea. You wanted to start a car wash for dogs, but somebody gave you the discouragement. I don't know. Maybe encouragement should be the thing of the day. You know what I mean?
I thought you weren't getting self-helpy here.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, even if you're not like one of these dudes like Tony Robbins, you're running around, everything's positive all the time.
Well, I think guys like that. Here's my opinion. I think guys like that are delusional because not everything's always happy all the time. Not everything's perfect. And you can't necessarily just think yourself into utopia. You have to make action to get to where you want to go. You have to make positive steps. That's very Tony Robbins right there.
You're going full Tony Robbins.
Yeah.
No, I think there's an AI Tony Robbins now. You can have Tony Robbins on your phone in your pocket, and you can just bust him out and ask him a question anytime. Get some pep talks.
I didn't really want to hear the live one. Why would I want to hear the fake one?
You can just, just think that he's now sat there and responded 1,000,000 times to different questions. So they have them all dialed in. You just say, Tony, man, I don't understand it. I'm having problems at work. I just can't get that promotion. He just steps in. Well, don't worry, Jimmy. Here's what you got to do.
You gotta have a positive attitude, Jimmy. You gotta think positive. You gotta dream positive at night when you're sleeping, Jimmy. You gotta drink your water positive, Jimmy. And then you'll get what you were looking for.
Exactly. That's exactly right, man. That's the problem. The problem is you just got to put one foot in front of the other and keep going. That's the problem. And so in order to stay motivated, you got to have some sort of positivity in order to move forward. If you were sitting there drudging on and on and on trying to reach your goal, I mean, eventually are you going to get discouraged? Because see, that's the difference between the 99 percenters. You get the 1 percenters and the 99 percenters. 99 percenters, you know what they do?
They take their mistake, learn from it, and try something different next time.
No, they sit there and don't do jack shit. The 1% they do is they have a goal in mind and they write it down on a list. They make a list of what they're going to do. And they keep looking at it every single day and they make moves towards it, even if it's just 1 inch. Even if they got it's a world full of inches. You got to scratch it.
It's a game of inches, Jimmy.
It is. Their inches are everywhere. Even if you make it an inch. No, seriously. There's this thing called the greatest secret ever told or whatever, and I'm pretty sure without me playing the whole thing for everybody right here and right now, let me bottom line it for you. The bottom line is the 1%, they make this list and they look at it and they keep it in their wallet and they pull it out and, every time they're feeling down or whatever, they fucking look at that list, I mean, you look at your list, maybe your list is you're going somewhere. Someday you're going to sit on an island somewhere and kick back, in the sun or whatever, and watch the dolphins eat breakfast under the bougainvilleas. I mean, I've eaten breakfast under the bougainvilleas on the beach watching the dolphins before, personally, in Mexico.
Nice.
It was a restaurant right on the beach. There was nobody there. But I mean, I could put that on a list and then say to myself, every day when I was going to the job that I hated, working for a guy I couldn't stand, or whatever, when things got rough, I just pull out my wallet, pull out my little business card, look at it, and it says right there, breakfast watching the Dolphins, and I continue on. I'd make it through that.
Then you go put $10 in your little special jar, saving for that vacation, right?
Exactly.
And that's how you get there.
Right. There it is. I mean, that is the secret to success. I'm not the one. I didn't come up with it. I'm just telling you. I mean, there's a whole section in there. He starts talking about people that are retiring. And he talks about how people are retiring, and then most of them don't have shit by the time they retire. You know what I mean? Because they didn't think about it, and so they followed other people that didn't know what they were doing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of like making a role model out of somebody who achieved the goal that you want, you listen to a bunch of other people that don't know shit. Ergo, this opinion thing I was just talking about. It's like somebody's got a fucking opinion about it, but they don't know enough about it to give you their opinion, and you make a decision based on their opinion, their uneducated opinion. When everybody's different. Just because somebody else did the same exact thing as you did, you can learn from their mistakes, but it doesn't mean your experience is going to be the same as theirs, because you're you. People react to you different than they do to the other person. The other person might have hit a fucking dead end because they're an asshole, and they met up with somebody who didn't like their attitude, and fucking they shit on them, and that was the end of it. And there's other people that aren't an asshole, and they, move on, and they pursue their thing and make it happen real. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's a never-ending battle, ladies and gentlemen. Believe me, we're all still here as a result of the battles we've lived, have we not, Rock and Rio? We've battle-scarred.
Battle-scarred, and wisdom with age. Right?
Forged.
Aged wisdom because we've been through it.
Forged in the fires.
There you go. That's a good way to put it. Just like the knife smith.
You know what, man? I'm feeling so good right now. I got to do this. Maybe I'll do it. Hold on. No, I'll do it in a minute. Because see, I got hands like I'm quick. Hey, that's another thing. Just to let everybody know, I'm walking again on my leg. I actually put a sock on today. I was able to lift my leg.
You were? What did you pee on?
Yeah, no, I lifted my leg and put a sock on. Believe me. I know it sounds stupid, but thank God for small miracles.
Muy buenas. Todos estamos encantados y inspirados de estar en su presencia. Antes de comenzar con la vibración de la música, queremos recordarles que en este momento, si toman el tiempo de ver con el corazón, no con la mente, vamos a ver que estamos completamente rodeados de ángeles.
This is from 1993. It's the Sacred Fire Tour. And this is Carlos Santana, Mexico City. It's Chilluminati, Ground Zero Plus.
See them all around us. They're all around us. The spirits dancing all around us.
You know what, man? This is like the third Saturday in a row that the Ground Zero Plus icon isn't on TalkStream Live on Saturday night. The third week in a row. Okay, it'll be back there immediately following into the microcosm. Yeah, you can go on TalkStream Live and click on Independent Broadcast Network and drive that up. It's on the like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th page from the end. You know what, man? I wasn't gonna say anything about it, seriously, but earlier today, you know, first thing in the morning when I get up on Saturday morning, I go over to YouTube, you know, to listen to the show, the first part of the show. Hear the sound and everything. So I go over there this morning, and I click on I click on to go to the page, to the show page, and the show page opens up, and in the comments section, I see it says 673 comments, and then the fucking screen blinked, and it went to 5 comments.
Huh. Yeah, I know.
No, and I mean the thing is you know, Epic saw it happen before too. He went on there after a show, there was like 1,100 comments, and then it blinked and there was no comments. And it's the same fucking thing every time when I go there, and I'm the next day and I'm listening to the first beginning part of the show, and I'm sitting there and I'm watching the screen, and I can see the likes scrolling. In other words, it scrolls, but the number never changes.
That's the beauty of the shadow ban.
That's what I mean, man. Sandboxing and all this bullshit. And now, you know, the Ground Zero icon, Ground Zero Plus icon's not on TalkStream Live. It's the 3rd week in a row. Okay? I'll see if it appears all of a sudden. It doesn't, but it appears later. It'll be there tomorrow morning. So I just find that to be weird because, you know, number one, it's not. I mean, if there's something wrong with your icon on TalkStream and you send an email, it's not going to happen immediately today. Something will happen about it. But the thing is, what I find is that no one's doing anything about it or saying anything about it. It just disappears and then comes back. I find that to be kind of interesting. Anyways,
yeah.
I didn't want to get all sucked into it, but it is frustrating. Especially since I got a screenshot right here that says we have 6 million subscribers on YouTube.
And what is it showing now?
Well, no, I'm just saying. We have, you know, Epic saw it had 6 million subscribers. We went back and had 6,700,000 subscribers, which I have a screenshot of.
And now it says we have
1,200 subscribers.
1.27 is what it's showing me.
Yeah. So
1.27 thousand, not even million.
No, I know. It's frustrating. I mean, I'm sure on one level. I mean, if you thought about it, I'm not saying this is the case. Okay, I'm not saying this has to do with us. I'm not saying this is the case with us. I'm just saying, let's say there was a channel, and let's say that channel was popular, but the person who had the channel, they didn't know it was popular. They didn't see any subscriptions. You know, they didn't see hardly any people on their thing. But the show was super popular. They just didn't know it. Millions of people were watching it. There was ads running on there. There's all kinds of money getting made by Google, you know, for the ads that are running. But meanwhile, the creator never knew anything about it. Never knew there was ads. Never knew there was any money. They just found out something and then, you know, went ahead and promoted it in ways that you would never see it. You think that's possible?
Sure. Why would it be possible? But I'm sure it's done that way.
There's no way, because I mean I've had like people say, hey, yeah, there's an ad on after the show's over on YouTube. I'm thinking to myself, how could there be an ad? It's not monetized. It's never been monetized ever, not once, ever. So if you ever see a
that
commercial,
doesn't stop YouTube from showing ads, and especially even if I go and watch the video, afterwards, there's no ads in the live stream, but tomorrow when you replay it, they'll throw ads in there. They always do.
well, that's
Doesn't
what
matter
I'm
if
saying.
it's monetized or not.
If
You know,
they're
making
making money off ads, nobody's getting it. At least I'm not getting it. We've talked about this before. I mean, I'll talk about it right now real quick, just because when we talked about it, most people probably didn't hear it. So in case you didn't know, there's these silos on here. And basically, it looks like people have channels, but their channels are bullshit. They're in an office building, and they make these office spaces look like your house, like a living room, whatever. Just people's, shit, whatever they got. So these channels are all in there. They're in these silos, and they get promoted because there's this whole thing where this money that comes in for these ads, before you get it, it goes somewhere else first.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get it and then pay them. They get it and pay you. And so it's where it goes. And so they have these silos where all these people are generating all these dollars with all these ads that are coming in. And it's an unbelievable amount of money. As a matter of fact, I think when we did the show on it, there was the guy that I was playing about, a guy who's complaining about it, said that he lost over $1 million worth of ad money from this whole thing that was going on, this whole shakedown. There's a shakedown going on.
Well, what do you expect from the internet mafia?
It's absolutely out of control, man. Anyways, so sorry we got sucked into that, but I was just going over to make sure everything was sounding good on TalkStream Live, and then sure enough, it wasn't there. And obviously
I should look and see if it shows up for me.
Yeah, go see if it shows up for you. Everybody go see on TalkStream Live. Go over there. If it's not there, go find the Independent Broadcast Network and click on that and see if you can get that bitch up to the front page. That'd be funny. Revolution Radio is even higher than us right now because we're not here. Revolution Radio is number 10.
I see Ground Zero at Clyde Lewis is still up there at
yeah,
number 2.
That's always going to be there but he's playing that's not us on there.
Yeah, I know.
That's him playing his show. So Ground Zero Plus is the dark horse with the red eyes. It's not on there. At least I don't see it. I hope, and you in the chats, everybody, let us know, man. Tell us if you see it in there. Dave's not here.
I'm scrolling.
Village Idiots in there. Yeah, Dave's not here.
Oh, Independent Broadcast Network is here.
Yeah, click on that. Send it all the way up to the top.
That's down on I don't know what position we're in. Like
we're
20 something.
Yeah, no, but we're still there though. That's the thing. You could go off the page completely. We're always there in the last 5 pages. We're 5 pages from the very end. You typically down there. But I mean, we don't promote or anything. We don't do anything shit we're supposed to do. We just show up night after night. We do it, but we just don't. If we just had a special friend that was into helping us promote, we'd be stoked, man. Or, maybe we should just get an AI agent to do it. Just sit here. Who knows, man? Okay, so are you guys checking it? I don't want to drag us down into the black hole because I can see we're heading that way.
Yeah,
We've got to do something.
Still looking for Ground Zero Plus here.
That's what I'm saying. It's not there. All of a sudden, miraculously, it just disappeared. Can you guys hear the owls in the Santa Cruz Mountains right now? Living it up.
They hooting.
Yeah, they're living the life of Riley. Getting ready for some dark swooping in the middle of the night. It's the Chilluminati. Shh. Don't tell nobody. See? I even just said don't tell nobody. I'm doing the opposite of promoting.
Oh, it says there are currently no active streams for Ground Zero Plus.
No active streams for Ground Zero Plus. Huh.
It says next show starts in 20 minutes.
Uh-huh. Exactly.
Sweet Lucy was a dancer, but none of us were chancer because she was a samurai. She made electric shadows beyond our fingertips, and none of us could reach that high. She came on like a teaser, I had to touch and please her, enjoy a little paradise. The rock was in my pocket when Lucy made the rocket. She never knew the reason why.
Knocking at your back door. Deep purple. We're going to have Cat come on here in a minute. We got about 20 minutes. We got 20 minutes till the next show starts on TalkStream Live.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just sit here and play music for 20 minutes.
There's got to be something in there.
It's funny that it happens every Saturday night. Because whenever I listen to Ground Zero, I listen to Ground Zero Plus, and I go to TalkStream Live, and I click on the icon. So I know it's there every fucking day, 24 hours a day, except for when we go live on Saturday night.
Nancy was so fancy, to get into her pants we had to be the aristocracy.
You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of... I didn't even know I should start talking about this. But why the hell not? It's Saturday night. Yeah. This reminds me when we first started on Aftermath, the original Aftermath radio network. We first started on there. It wasn't live. Okay, so we had to provide a show. Then the show would be uploaded and then played at our appropriate time slot.
Right.
And so we were doing these shows, and at the time, the show could only be an hour long. So we were doing shows over on YouTube for 3 hours, and then we would take and cut the show down to an hour so it could fit in the time slot. Okay? So we were doing these shows, and for the first 3 weeks, every time we did the show, there was a problem. Mm-hmm. And it got to a point where it was like the fourth show, and the show that we were doing, that we had uploaded, was tied into the show that we had just done. So it was the next episode based on the stuff we were talking about the last time we were on, and it didn't play. And I was all pissed off, and we were talking about it, and we were on YouTube, and it didn't play. And then the next show that came on, it was a reverse speech show, and it was like the fifth show we did. And so it was a reverse speech show. We're on there, and the show is playing. It launched like it was supposed to, and the show is playing, but the microphones were open inside of Clyde Lewis's studio. And so Clyde and I want to say...
Was it Ron or was it...
No, I want to say it was Jeremy. But
Jeremy, yeah, maybe.
Anyways, so they were talking, and they didn't know their mics was open. Right? And so I contacted Ron and said, hey, man, your studio mics are open. But then that fucking Rob guy from Aftermath got all pissed off because I contacted Ron, and Ron said something to him, and then he went and fixed it. But then he got all pissed off because Jimmy's going around me. He's going to Ron and all this shit. So it was this whole thing going on, right? Well, that isn't even the interesting part. Okay? The interesting part is that Rio and I were doing the show. It was a pre-recorded show, and the show was about reverse speech. Okay? Clyde, and I can't remember exactly who it was that was talking on there. But irrespective of that, we were recording the whole thing. Okay? So we're on YouTube, we're recording the show playing on Aftermath, and then those guys were talking over the top of it, and that was being recorded. Okay? Here's the interesting shit. Rio reverse speeched that shit. Okay? And this is the mind blower. We're doing a show about reverse speech, and Rio is reverse speeching me on the show. And my reverse speech was talking to Clyde in his present forward speech recorded in reverse. Clyde and I were having a conversation in reverse with shit that I recorded a week before we were ever having that conversation.
Yeah, that was really weird. That was probably the strangest reverse I've ever done as far as how it worked.
It was literally unbelievable, man. Well, some interesting stuff, man. We've had some interesting shit happen on this show. Yeah. And thank goodness you're along for the ride. You're here with us, because if you weren't here, no one would believe it. Believe me. It's absolutely crazy at Rock and Rio. Some of the shit that's happened over all these years.
The comment in the chat room says, "Did Rob want you to tell him first if Ron had spinach stuck in his teeth?"
No, he was pissed off because I knew Ron and Clyde separately, and I was going around them or whatever.
Yeah, like he is Mr. Special. But that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah, well, that dude... Well, let's just say we'll just leave that alone for now. Just because, I mean, I have a tendency to, I am Irish.
To play that stuff.
I am
I'm
Irish.
sure I got it somewhere.
I know. Well, I am Irish. There's a reason they named it Ireland. You know what I'm saying?
You cranky gingers.
I'm a fucking Irish scrapper, man. I'm just like, I'll see if I can dig up that Duck You Sucker. The movie Duck You Sucker with Lee Marvin.
Mm-hmm.
Lee Marvin, he's an Irishman. He's about to explode. Exactly. Rob is a bitch. Exactamundo, Chris. Chris, when you see Chris, if you see him somewhere around here, you see him in the chat, you see him here and there, make sure you thank him, man, because that dude's working tirelessly. He's in the UK, so when he's supposed to be sleeping, we're all awake. So that dude's working 24 hours a day, He's a crazy man. He's a wild man. All right, listen, what time is it? We got about, 12 minutes left before the top of the hour? We should see if we can dig up CAC, raise him from the crypt, because you know what was funny is after last night, we started sussing this out. We started looking at these closures and these real estate deals and all this other stuff. And right after, when I woke up this morning, I went to YouTube to go to the channel and went to my homepage, and guess what? Somebody made a video 17 hours before that was saying that 30 of the top retailers across America are going to be closing down shit.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to probably dig that video up for the second hour just to, look, we just started talking about it. We weren't on here doing a show or a presentation, but it turns out the discussion we were having, the questions we were asking, seems like we were asking the right questions, because it looks like, that's what's going on, what we were talking about last night. So, wow.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Even around here, I know Macy's has closed a couple stores. There's an IKEA that closed. They're pretty, major companies. I know Macy's in Manhattan went out. Yeah. Several of them, actually.
Well, should we bother hooking up? Yeah, no, I'll take care of that, Chris. I was going to contact Pearl about it. I keep forgetting to do it. I'll do it this weekend for sure, man. I promise. Just because it'd be good. That'd be great to be able to tune in. It would be really great if you could do it at 2:00 Pacific was when his show used to play every day. 2 to 4 Pacific. That'd be crazy. All right. I'll definitely make sure I make that happen. Chris, you can count on that. All right. We got about 9 minutes left before the top of the hour. I don't even want to try to take calls. But if you're over here and you want to join us and you have Teams, I think you can. Is there a way people can just find you on Teams? You know what I mean?
Yeah, they can either look you up or look me up.
I don't know. I don't think so. We're gonna have to figure this out, man. The thing is the Zoom. I don't know enough about Zoom. I don't work with it except when we're on here, and so I haven't sat here and tried to figure it out. There's got to be a way to mute that ringing, and there's also I know Simon was telling people how to fix it so you could play music through Zoom and other people could hear it.
Oh, there's a way to do that through Zoom. And that was one of the things that
he says you put it on original audio, and then and if you play something, then someone can hear it. I don't know, man. This thing. Honest to God, this Teams thing has really screwed a whole bunch of shit up. Just because, the amount of minutes we've spent on the show talking about it, and the amount of times we've gotten pissed, the amount of times it's fucked the show up because it's right in the middle of a rhythm that we're trying to build with the information that we're putting in, So it's been and we've strived, early on with this show. That was one of the things about our show set us apart from everybody else, especially when we were doing it. It was the production level of our show, like what we brought to the table when we did a show, and the professional. Behavior and attitudes, and it's just, we've gotten a bit casual on Saturday nights, and now with this Teams thing, it's just, spun out of control. I'm hoping that at some point here, everything will even out.
Yeah.
At least 1 hour
of tech support on Fridays.
I know.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I had to disconnect. From that show yesterday. I left the first hour private. Other than your traveling story, most of the thing we were sitting there bitching about everything that was going on. So I don't know if you guys want me to put it back, I will. But I took it off just because I figured, we're just sitting there like we are right now.
Well, the second and third hour were the more important text. We were just kind of shooting the breeze and troubleshooting the first hour. So.
All right. Well, listen. I think this call will end.
I haven't gotten actually any warning because it's a one-on-one call. It's not a meeting. So until I add a third person, we can probably run forever. So what I'll do is I'll pick up CAC at the top of the hour.
I see.
And that way it'll run at least another 60 minutes till the end of the show. So. Well,
listen. I don't know. I was thinking about something, but then I just lost my head just went empty. So I went empty-headed there when you were telling me that. All right, so when we come back, we'll come back with CAC, and we'll leave this all behind us. We can't take calls tonight. We're not taking calls. I just don't want to go through the hassle. We'll just march on and keep going toward. I'll look at my list, pull out my wallet, and look at my business card, and I'll think to myself, breakfast on the beach under the bougainvillea, watching the dolphins with the surfers. It's the Chilluminati.
When I get home from my job, I turn on my TV, but I can't keep my mind on the shoe. When I lay down at night, oh, I can't get no sleep. So I turn on my radio, but the only sound I hear is you whispering in my ear the words that you used to say. Now my day no longer, as my love grows stronger, and the fever is worse. I've got the fever for the world. Got the fever, oh, I got the fever.
Alright, I got a special surprise for you too. So I got a book that's been in my family for a long time. It's a new copy now, but there used to be an older copy that I used to have, and then my mom had it before me. And the older copy just fell apart because it was cheaply printed, but it's a magic book. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the magic book here tonight in the next hour. And I will take questions, and we will have the magic book answer the questions. And you can type the questions into the chat. We'll go back and forth from the chats. We'll do them one at a time. It's a magic book. It's called Quiet Talks with the Master. So sit on back. Get ready to ask questions.
Nothing that a poor boy can do
when he's got the fever for the girl.
Got the fever, oh, I got the fever. You let the city boy blue.
There goes Eric Clapton. I've been playing a lot of this The Palms lately. And here's another one, Push Off. This is The Palms.
My world, my God, if I'm gonna make it, then it's time that I speak my mind. You can't take that away. Wait, so you gonna use me now? Well, young motherfucker, take this, take that, I can take it, but I might just lose my mind on my shirt anyway. And if it all came crashing down, just know that it won't bring me down. Well, put me on the front lines as you're sitting on the sidelines. Don't think you can play with my mind, 'cause that's all mine. While you're slipping sideways, well, I've been making my way. Don't think I waste no more time, 'cause that's all mine. 'Cause y'all push out. Go on, push out. Take this, fake that if you wanna make it. Now it's time that I speak my mind. You can't take that away. And if it all came crashing down, just know that it comes back around. Well, put me on the front line as you're sitting on the sidelines. Don't think you can play with my mind, 'cause that's all mine. While you're slipping sideways, I've been making my way.
Where is the ritual? And tell me where is the taste? Where is the sacrifice? And tell me where is the faith? Someday there'll be a cure for pain.
Someday there'll be a cure for pain. And that's the day that I'll throw my drugs away.
Drugs away. Find a cure for pain.
Or you can tune into Ground Zero Plus. That's a cure for pain. At least it keeps you focused on other shit. That's the key. When you're going through pain, you gotta focus on something other than the pain, Rio. You know what I mean? You don't want to be living your miserable life in agonizing pain.
Yeah,
Are you still here?
I am here.
Where's Cock? Is he not picking up the
Trying
phone?
to get him, but he's not answering the phone.
That's what happens.
I know he's yapping.
You used to just dial a person and they were on the phone. You know what, man? I know this is gonna sound really weird that it's that long ago, but you know, people don't even realize that you used to have a fucking phone that was plugged into the wall at your house, and that was it. You were
had to use
limited
your finger
to
to spin the rotor.
I'm just saying, you were limited to the length of the cord. You couldn't get away, like you're trying to get some privacy. You'd be climbing in the closet, shutting the door, trying to get some privacy because the phone cord didn't reach. There's no.
You'd have a 20-foot cord on the back of your phone so you could walk away with it, right?
There's no.
Carry it around the house and bring it into the living room or to the kitchen if you needed to or whatever.
Or you got a really long cord and then it got all twisted up because you stretched it out and brought it back so many times.
Yeah.
No, man, people don't realize. Seriously, it was, and it's not that long ago, but it seems like a long time ago. In other words, like when we're talking about it and you're young, you're going, what the fuck? We might as well be saying we had those crank phones that you cranked on the side. It's the same.
You cranked on the side. You had to give the operator a name and number, right? I'd like
my mom
Alpha 369.
My mom was a switchboard operator when she was a teenager. She used to be the one that would be down there would cross connect it with the plugs that look like guitar jacks, 1/4-inch jacks. You plug it into the hole.
Wow.
I know.
Switchbox Susan.
Fuck,
Isn't that a song?
No, I don't know. Who does it?
Long distance romancer. Keep on trying till I get an answer. Don't you remember that song?
No,
right.
man.
I think that's 80s.
Give me a link.
All right. Okay.
So we've been joined by Cat.
I was hustling in, the 80s doing some production assistant work. You know how it is, trying to get into Hollywood and stuff like that. And the guy said, give me a phone cord. I said, okay. So I go to the props department. They said, okay, here's some foam cord. So I brought back some foam cord. The guy looks at me like I'm out of my mind. And I was. So, but, $100 a day. Nowadays, they get interns to do it for free. So anyway, that's my intro for the night.
Well,
hey.
All I can say is things not too long ago seem distant and freakish to people that are Generation Z. In other words, no one can imagine it being the way that it is now. They can't imagine it any other way. Like people can't imagine it where you look at. Here's another thing about the people that ran around in those times. There's very little physical evidence of the shit that you did. In other words, you did crazy shit. You did stupid shit. You did absolutely crazy shit that you would never in a million years want anyone to ever know. But the difference being is people weren't sitting around with cameras taking pictures of everything. They weren't taking video of anything. And so the thing is,
you could get away with stuff because nobody could catch you on tape, right?
That's what I just got done saying. There's no physical evidence of how crazy you were, Rio, in France, whatever you were doing. You're swinging from the rafters over there. No one knows. Unless they were there.
Some people do. But,
well, that's what I mean. Unless they were there. But I'm just saying, people today, they don't have that luxury. Every single thing that most people do, born after 9/11, is on camera. You know what I mean? If it's after 9/11, it's on camera, pretty much. And so, it's kind of trippy when you think about it, because really, there's nothing left of any of that except for what you remember about it and the picture of it in your own mind that you can relive through telling the story. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it doesn't exist, but other people can right now, they can go, hey, man, remember when we fucking da-da-da-da-da? You know what I mean? And they can just go, yeah, here's 30 images right here. Here's that video of you all fucking drunk, cack.
Yeah, and now it's just another snapshot. Yep. Wow.
Well, just think about it as in relation to it, because there's magic about this whole photography thing. Because I had a good friend of mine. You can go find his website right now. Jan Dean, Deen photography.
I know Jan Dean from the 80s.
You know Jan Dean?
I met him. Yeah, we were dating the same chick.
Dude, seriously.
Oh, man.
He's dead.
Jimmy, how do you find people that have like direct relation to you, like all over the place? Like you and Epic used to skateboard together in high school. This guy knows the guy that you knew and dated his girlfriend. I mean, dude, how do you come up with this stuff, man?
Yeah, I know.
It's crazy. No, listen.
Johnny on the spot,
Listen, I'm telling you right now.
California must be a lot smaller than we think.
Why was I telling you about Jan Dean in the first place?
Oh, he was cool.
No, I was about to tell you something about him, and it had to do with his.
Yeah.
It had to do with something we were talking about. What were we just talking about?
Photography and all that stuff.
Okay, magic, photography, right. So Jan Dean. So Jan Dean was a ballet dancer, okay? And he was a really good-looking dude. Some might even say he was a beautiful dude, you know, but he ran into some problems, obviously. You know, the things that happened to you in L.A., he ran into those problems, but eventually something happened to his leg, and he couldn't dance anymore. And he met this guy who was a psychic. His name was Bob, believe it or not. Bob the psychic. And he met Bob. Bob proceeded to tell him that he had a demon on his leg. And that Bob would remove the demon from Jan's leg, but then Jan had to, you know, do some shit. He had to get sober and whatever. So he removed the demon from Jan's leg, and then Jan went and got, you know, started going to AA or whatever. And Bob went to a pawn shop and bought Jan this Nikon 35mm camera and gave it to Jan. And Jan started, because he was already doing the ballet thing, he was in dance and theater. So he started doing dance and theater photography in LA. And he did it for 25 years. And so he's got a lot of photography, and he did a lot of 99-seat theater stuff. So it would be
equity,
yeah. So it would be like a play would turn into a movie eventually, based on these 99-seat theater presentations that they used to do. So a lot of times producers would come into these plays, and then they take the play and turn it into a movie, so on and so forth. So he was tied into all that. But anyways, I'm just giving you some background on Jan Dean. But Jan Dean was a super magical dude. You know, he was into magic and so on and so forth. But the point being is that there was a magical quality to when you develop a picture, and when a picture is taken, and when you actually get the film and take it off the negative and put it on a piece of paper. And you do the chemical process that goes along with that is almost alchemical in a way. And there's a lot lot to it, and there's magic in it. In other words, there's a magic that can be derived from an image like that. You know, that kind of an image is, and so I don't know. I always try to, sometimes when I think about this particular thing, I wonder about images, and I wonder about you know, the difference between a film image and a digital image. If there's the same difference from analog to digital as far as music is concerned. You know what I mean? And as far as notes and so on and so forth.
Well, that's, you know, Kodak was desperately hanging on to, you know, try to make that transition. And at the time, this is like in the early 2000s, right? And I was just getting done with film school, and they had Panavision out there in Woodland Hills. They were trying to merge with Kodak and bring in, you know, the film digital, you know, changeover, because my class was the last class to actually have to turn in film. After that, it was all digital. You know, you can do digital editing, digital capture, but by then you could tell a difference. You could tell like a huge difference in quality. And usually it showed up in the contrast. You know, you couldn't get the dark blacks or the dark blues, you know, on digital yet. But anyway, yeah, that was the end of Kodak pretty much.
Well, it's interesting to me in the sense that now there's some legends of Native Americans or native peoples, tribal people not wanting to have their picture taken. So
they used to fear the photo because they thought it would steal part of their soul.
Yeah.
It would soul, yeah.
It's interesting. You just said that, and Amber just said it in the chat at the same time you were saying it. Her chat came up. So yeah, capturing your soul. So the thing is, I mean, we weren't planning on talking about this, but either one of you two guys can go search this up real quick, because I can't do it You know, there's magic associated with images, and people use images in doing magic, you know, this type of thing. So I wonder about the digital image, and I wonder about the developed image from a negative. Just taking it from a negative to a positive, or being able to take it and make it so you can see it in a different way than was captured on film. You know, I saw this.
It's a chemical thing, man. You sit there and you put it in the little hopper there, and give it a little bit of time, and then bring it out. Yep.
You know, Flippy made a good point too. He says the real world is analog, the simulation is digital.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And you got to consider that, right? All these digital images that we're looking at, they're not real images.
No,
they're translated images.
Right, and you know the other thing is too is that the digital image can instantly be changed, and the other image is more like a printed book because it's on paper. It's not. It can't be changed. You'd have to, you know what I mean? You can't Photoshop it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you have to digitize it to Photoshop it. Well, I mean, there was some, you know, old school film editing techniques with razor blades and big
they
negatives
did it,
and stuff.
Ask CAC. They did it with lighting and makeup.
Yeah,
didn't they?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Yeah, and also, you know, there was different kinds of developing techniques and double exposures, and you know, when you actually print it down through the enlarger, you can do all kinds of effects. But you know, the basic, you know, the captured image, you know, you kind of regulate with you know, your light, your aperture, and the time of exposure. Yep.
And the captured image really, you like you said, double exposures or shadow masks or things like that. You could manipulate it, but you couldn't actually change the original image.
No.
You could layer it with something else or add something to it, you know, or cut something out of it. But, you know, the picture of your face was still the picture of your face. You know, there was no AI manipulation to, you know, make you look like a squirrel or whatever, like they do now on the phones.
I mean, yeah, like back then, the best they could do was airbrush. You know, if you had a pimple on your butt, airbrush it out.
Yeah, airbrush, exactly. Exactamundo. That's an interesting subject, man. You know, there's a lot to it. I don't know. It's, Jan Dean is dead now, but I'm sure his website's still there. Like I was going to say, it's Jan Dean, DEEN photography.com, I think. If you go there and you can take a look at some of his, because the thing that was so genius about some of Jan's work is, you know, he was a struggling artist, dude. I mean, he's making a living doing headshots and getting gigs where he could, you know.
Right.
So the thing is, what he did was, since he was working with these theaters, these 90-seat theaters, whenever someone was doing a play, he would weasel his way in there and take pictures for them and go, hey, I'll take some pictures for you. And they go, of course, come on in, Jan, take pictures for us for free, right? But then he would use their set and their lighting and their actors and pose them in scenes and scenarios and take shots. Genius shots. Like one of the plays that he did was the one about the acid whorehouse in San Francisco. And if you go to his if you go to his website, I use it on something. I've used it before here on the show for a couple of montage things that I did, but there's a whole thing. There's like a chick being spanked, and there's a guy looking through a magnifying glass, and it's really no, it's actually really. You know what I'll do is I'll try to find it. And I also told you guys I was going to bring the Quiet Talks to the Master book to the table now. And I said asking questions, and I saw Rowdy immediately in the chat saying, when were the pyramids built or whatever. It's not like that. This is when you're asking questions, it's a question for you and your life type of thing. It's not it's not you know, the fractional divide of the distance between the ring of Saturn and, you know, my anus or whatever. It's not like that.
And what you brought up earlier, Jimmy, is so true. I mean, just writing down something, like a dream or a vision, something that you have that you want to attain. And then if you could visualize that even specifies it. The more specific you can get, and that's where the imagination, the imagery comes in.
Yeah. And I mean, kind of goes back to what we were saying earlier too, is about, just, your internal creation of whatever it is that you want to do, and staying true to that, true to yourself, I don't know, man. I don't know, brother. I know this. I got this book. See it? I'm holding it up on YouTube. Quiet Talks with the Master by Eva Bell Werber. Eva Bell Werber. So this book, no, it's not made of human skin. No, it's not ancient sigils or anything like that. It's just a book. It's been around, like I say, it's been around my family pretty much my whole life. I haven't consulted this book regularly in a long time, but there was a period of my life where I would, because I was, of that framework, of that mindset, where I would be looking for something outside of myself to, give me information that I might need that I, wasn't aware of, this type of thing. I was a seeker, People are, you're searching. Sometimes you're searching for answers, and when you are, Quiet Talks with the Master is always a good idea, even if it's not this book. Even if you have a master and you have Quiet Talks with the Master. All right, listen, when we come back, we'll take some questions. Rio, you can check the chat, see the chat over at Ground Zero Plus, and I'll look over here at YouTube, and then CAC. If you got a question, maybe we'll start with you. This is Chilluminati. The babies. There they go. That is a kick-ass drum mix. You know what I'm saying? Alright. You guys thought of a question? We should just do this. We should call it Let Me Ask You a Question.
Saturday night game show host.
I got one. Yeah. So we talk about generations here, and what's the latest one? What's the name for the latest one? Who knows? But how are we going to preserve the old wisdoms when we got just so many different memory holes going on? How do we preserve the truth?
All right, it's kind of ambiguous.
Is that
I don't know. I don't know how the answer will come out, but I'll do the deed. All right, so what you do is you ask the question to the book. You think. Close your eyes. You hold the book in your hand. You think about what it is you're asking. And then you turn the book around 3 times, open it up, and look at it. And whatever you see is the answer to the question that you have. So now that I told you that, is that still the question you want to ask? Or do you want to now change your question to another question that might be more appropriate, a personal question? This is directed at you personally. This is your question. This isn't in general for humanity. This is for you.
Okay, give me a minute. Give me a minute.
Right,
Okay, I got it.
I'll give you a minute. I'll give you a minute. Rio, I mean, you can.
No, I'm ready.
All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, go ahead. Ask me a question.
Ask a question. Okay. When should I go to Mexico?
Should I go to Mexico?
Okay, should I go to Mexico?
The book is not going to give you a date to go to Mexico. Should you go or shouldn't you go? That seems to be the question.
That's the question.
All right. I'm not trying to guide the question, man. I mean, you could ask any question you want. I just don't know how the answer.
That's the one. That's the one.
Should you go to Mexico? All right, here we go. I'm concentrating now, Cac. I got to be quiet for a minute. All right. So now 1, 2, 3. I will now open the book and read. It says, all right, listen, this isn't pre-rehearsed or whatever, so you don't get smart. All right, here we go. It says, when I command, will you now follow and obey? Shall I, the Lord, not have full control over the instrument of my expression? I demand full obedience from the moment you learn to hear my voice, the voice within your being. From that moment, responsibility is yours in a mighty degree. Unless you obey, you shall be brought up sharply to know, after all, from this day, you are not your own. You are free as never before, yet you are bound by the mighty cords of my love, my child. Hesitate not. I speak clearly. Follow me.
Wow. Okay. Man, dig it.
Well, that has, whatever, we read that out loud. It means what it means to us, but secretly, whatever you think about going to Mexico and all that, I'm sure that might have hit home a little harder than people realize.
Yeah, it resonates, definitely. Absolutely. Yep. Thank you.
All right, there you go. Rock and Reel. Go ahead. Now you're here. You might as well ask a question, and then we'll go to some of the people in the chat.
Not sure what I want to ask the book. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I'm gonna ask a question. Then I'm gonna say,
all right.
Can Rio have a happy life soon? Will Rio's life be happy? Is my question. No, I'm not gonna ask a question for you. You got to ask your own question, dude.
All right. Well, I'll ask it if my life will be happy.
Oh, there you go. All right, here we go.
There you go.
All right, I'll concentrate. This is like that Johnny Carson bit where he used to put on that hat.
Put the envelope up to his head. What was it? The great something. I forget. With him and
Karnak.
The Karnak.
The great Karnak. Yeah.
All right. I am the great Jimmy G, and I'm gonna put this book up against my head. And
you could be the great Cognac.
I'm turning the book 3 times. No, I'm making fun of it, and I'm playing games, but literally, it's all right. Let's see here. I'm gonna have to read. Hold on. I would reveal to you a secret whereby you can bring all the things under your feet and stand conqueror over all circumstances. It is the secret of giving thanks constantly. Rejoice, give thanks, praise for every circumstance in every move of your life. Lift your heart in thanksgiving. Thus, release my power into your life and link yourself with the great forces. For in the true heart-lifting thanksgiving, not just in the mumbling of words. That's what it's going to take to be happy, homeboy. You need to get
I'm
rid
pretty
of
happy
thanks.
now.
Well, yeah, well, I'm not saying you're not happy, but I'm saying if you want to be happier, God just told you what to do. He said you gotta be thankful.
I kind of am.
Well, be more thankful. I don't know.
I guess I could always be more thankful. Yeah.
You can argue with the answer, man.
I'm not. Well, it's
The
not
answer,
really.
it's between you and God, man. God just threw down, told you what to do. If you want to argue with it, it's up to you. All right, listen.
Yeah.
It's quiet talks with the master, dude. Don't discount the Lord. He moves in mysterious ways, doesn't he?
That is true.
And this isn't
Powerful.
This is pretty mysterious.
This isn't divination either. This isn't the things that are forbidden. All right. If you got any questions from over in the chat, I don't think people want to venture down the road.
I don't know.
People don't want answers.
Careful what you ask for.
Exactly. That's the thing. That's the thing about asking questions, man. When you ask a question, you got to be prepared for the answer. A lot of times it might not be yes, and you know what I mean? But if you don't ask the question, the answer is definitely no. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, that's true. You got to swing the bat, man.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, somebody asked a question, right? I mean,
no one's asking any questions, are they?
No, I'm looking at both chats and nobody's asking questions. The only question I got is, have the heifers been sacrificed yet?
I know.
But that was a little while ago, so. And I don't think they have.
What about 1 million pumpkins? He's got to have something.
She.
I was going to say, or she.
You could just say they, and not in that way, but you know what I mean.
They, them.
It said, Matt's asking how will the year end? I'll ask it. All right, hang on.
Axe it.
And hopefully it doesn't say in a big fireball.
No, it won't. It doesn't talk like that. All right, how will the year end? All right, here we go. I got to get all up in here to read this because it's... Listen carefully and heed these words, for by them was the world created. You have no need, for all is instantly yours. Let me see. The merest suggestion of need in your outer consciousness shall be instantly met with inner consciousness of fullness and supply. I say unto you, in that moment, the quicker in your next breath, God's forces are put into motion and the need is dissolved in a great ocean of my abundance, even before it was conceived. And so, my child, with this law at your command, do you not see what it means to walk as a child of the King? You shall have time and opportunity for all things, and I shall ask you to do for all the largeness of living, for all the beauty and sweetness and security from care and worry. Only hold fast my hand and see me with a single eye. Only hear my voice, and I will be able to bring these things into manifest for you. For without this close fellowship, You cannot know the peace of my presence, which is, after all, the great ocean of your all supply. So there it is. That's how the year's going to end.
Sounds like he'll be pretty stocked up at the end of the year.
There we
I think
go.
Barban has a question.
Oh, she does?
Well, I don't know if she's typed it yet, but she says she got a question. It says, when you do something real, it's kind of ignored. Finally get recognized, but someone uses AI and acts like it was their real. Like it was theirs.
Huh.
Well, that's an interesting question. Maybe specify a little bit more, but I see some themes in there that could be.
Did she put the
Yeah.
Did she put the question in there?
I thought that was going to be the question, but that was not phrased as a question.
Oh, well, just hey man, we're here. We got some time left. We can get into it. Just let's figure it out.
I can see both chats, so if you put in either chat, I can see it.
All right, sounds good. No worries. Let's do this, man. It's the ocean, man. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. It's a Chilluminati. We're having some quiet talks with the master.
Say whatever you have to say. I'll stand by you and do whatever you have to do to get it out and not become a reactionary to hurt the ones you love. You know you never meant to, but you did. Oh yeah, you did. And be whoever you have to be. I won't judge you, and sing whatever you have to sing to get it out and not become a recluse about your house. Come out, I know you never meant to, but you did. Oh, but you did. Still I need your sway, 'cause you always pay for it, and I need your soul, 'cause you're always so full, and I need your heart, 'cause you're always in the right places.
Alright. There goes the
So there is another question in the chat.
Alright, there goes the kooks. Alright, I got the book in my hand. Go ahead.
So Brent wants to know, why was I sent here?
Alright. Now, see, this is a question. See, good question, Brent. Alright. See, normally we would take calls and people could just ask the question. Ask a question. I could coax the question out of the people and get the actual question so they could get the answer burning in my hand for their soul. Somebody wanted us to ask a question, and we got the master's book right here ready to answer that question. All right, what was the question?
Why was I sent here?
Oh, yeah, that's right. All right, hold on. All right, hold on. I've got to concentrate on Brent. Why was I sent here is Brent's question. All right, I'm turning the book 3 times. 1, 2. That's 3 times to the right. 3. I'm opening the book. Why was I sent here? All right. Let me see if I can get some light on the subject. My beloved, you look upon my universe as you see the beauty of my creation. You find it good. You find harmony in the music of my winds as they play among my treetops. My sun and my shadows rest softly upon the land I have created for your use. There is a perfume in the air, a gentle peace in all my handiwork. When you take your eyes from these things and descend into a plane of mortal endeavor, you find discord, strife, antagonism, harsh words, cruel deeds. How different from the plane where you meet the king of the throne room of your heart. Truly, while you are in the body and living in the mortal life, your needs must deal with the plane of mortal thought. Every moment that you can use to escape into a higher realm with me, the Lord of your being, you shall do. For only by this constant contact with me can you walk in the midst of men and mortal things with the serenity of a child of Christ. Only through you and the others of my enlightened ones can the Christ Spirit be brought into the earth plane. Close your eyes at any moment and contact me and drink from the fountain of peace and harmony. So it looks like you're supposed to bring the light is what you're supposed to do, from what I got from that. You can rewind that and listen to it. But I think there's a message of what you're supposed to, why you're here, dude. You're supposed to spread the light of consciousness. Now I'm under the investigation spotlight.
Uh-oh.
In my face. So did you get that, Brent? There you go. I mean, there it is. So far, the master's hitting it out of the park. That sounds like a pretty intense reason to be here, dude. Don't forget, coming up next is the Jihad Science Show with Dr. Kevin McCarran. Coming up right after the Chilluminati in about 15 minutes or so.
Oh, nice.
We got any more questions?
Axe
a question. I don't see any more questions. Well, Brent did ask me why I didn't see his earlier question, but I don't think that's a question for the book. Let's see. Is anybody else? Let's see. Somebody typed some question here.
The questions.
The doctor would like to know: should he frack for gas on his farm?
What's that?
Should he frack for gas on the farm?
Who's asking that question?
The doctor.
No, doctor, you should grow hemp and make fuel and run your vehicles off alcohol. I have spoken.
I'm digging that, man.
That's what I'm saying. You get a full, your crop grows full in 90 days. You can hack it down, sell all the hemp, and replant that shit. And just every 90 days, you get a payday. And if you put your shit on alcohol, then all your farm equipment's running on alcohol.
Right on.
But hey, who am I, man? I'm just a dude on the internet.
Okay. Well, the village idiot would like to know if he should leave town.
It depends. I would say
definitely a he.
I'm not sure. I mean, I couldn't. I don't have enough information. Would you be? All I have to say is I can ask this question without you having to incriminate yourself. Would you be leaving town for good reasons or because you needed to leave town? I would say either way, get the fuck out of town. You know what I mean? Either way.
Yeah, if you're questioning your existence, it's time to move on, right?
It's a crazed world we're living in, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm telling you.
I don't know. It's crazy. This is the Chilluminati. Don't forget, tomorrow morning I will drag myself out of the bed and come out here and hit it up, wake and bake style. I have to say, last week's wake and bake, I almost wanted to, submit it and see, I don't know. It's a pretty good wake and bake. That's all I gotta say. If you didn't hear it,
Yeah.
you're having a bad day, go back and listen to last week's wake and bake. That was definitely a magic moment. And it happens every Sunday right here. It could be a magic moment. It could, I don't know. It could be any moment. But at least the moment will arrive. And when it does, I'll be here. 8 o'clock Pacific, Ground Zero Plus. Don't forget, come over and become supporters. I think there's a bunch of people that have come over and become supporters already. But if you haven't, please do. I wonder if we ever showed back up on TalkStream Live in the second hour.
We did, yes.
Did we?
Yeah, it started at the top of the hour.
What number are we?
Oh, I don't know at the moment.
We'll go over there and take a look.
But I will look while you answer the next question.
What's the question?
Sonny would like to know, should he move to the Talamanca Mountains?
So what we want to know is specifically the Talamanca Mountains, or should he just move? Should he make a move? I'll entertain should he make a move. Green Acres is a place to be. Just because of the specificity of it. It's really the mental overcoming of, the fear of making a move is what I'm detecting in the question. Not necessarily fear, but the uncertainty of a move. Whether it's Talamanca Mountains or down the street, it doesn't make any difference. There may be people making moves and they're not sure if they should. And maybe this will be the question they're asking and they're thinking. So let's go to it. Should Sonny make the move? That's the question. All right. I'm thinking and I'm asking the book now. Should Sonny make the move? I'm turning the book to the right. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3 at 3 times. Should Sonny make the move? I'm flipping the pages. I'm opening the book now. And I'm looking directly down. You are touching so many lives in all degrees of consciousness, each with its individual problem, yet part of my body. Can you feel how I yearn over my own? And you, my child, as my ambassador, go up and down, nor always conscious of how... Wait a minute. My ambassador, go up and down, not always conscious of how I am radiating through you, touching the other of my children who are deadened to me, soothing, healing, blessing, coming close to them. You have but to lift your consciousness in blessing as you pass, and know that the Father indwelling doth the work. Fill your life full of my presence, and never for a moment shall you fail to allow me to radiate through you. You shall find others more and more seeking and desiring your presence in the darkness they feel as your personal self they desire to meet near. So, there it is. I did not, in the reading of it, I did not pay attention to it. So, hopefully it meant something to you. I don't know if it hit the note. I don't know if it hit the mark. If you're thinking about making a move, I don't know if that helped you, but maybe it did. Who knows? That's the thing. The master moves in mysterious ways. Rock and Rio. You might have thought we were answering a question for Sonny, but somebody else might have heard something. So I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll see.
Uh-huh.
Linda's in the chat over there. I thought I was listening to Coast to Coast a couple days ago. I was trying to go to sleep, and I could have sworn I heard Linda on there calling in Coast to Coast.
She should. She should definitely call Coast
she
to Coast.
She has called Coast to Coast a million times.
Yeah.
No, I'm pretty sure it was her the other night. Hey, there's Droney.
Yeah, she's awesome.
What's up, Sparky?
Oh, we are number 16, or Ground Zero plus is number 16, I should say.
I know, because we had to climb up from the doldrums.
Hey, Jimmy, quickly on the magic of film. Film writes a poem. Digital writes a textbook.
Yeah, interesting. Interesting.
And I sent you that link for that song.
Oh, you did? Okay.
On Teams.
Okay.
Don't open it.
Oh shit.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, maybe I might not. I shouldn't. Yeah.
It's a Nick Lowe song.
Oh, cool.
So it's a good one. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, listen, we're just about out of time, but we will be coming back. What's a wizard without a quest? Exactly. What's a wizard without a quest? I think that's why the coal miners died the minute they climb out of the coal mine, because they got nothing to do. They just sit on the porch and cough and die. But until then, they were just going down in the hole with one of those, metal lunch boxes, those little lunch pails. They're all piling in the elevator to get in there, making like
they had the helmets with the lights on,
making 23 cents an hour
for the company store.
Exactly, company store. Really, it's the East Indian Company. It's the East Indian Tea Company combined with the company store, and that describes America. It's the America we're living in, ladies and gentlemen. But don't fret. We can have quiet talks with the master. We just say, am I living under the torture of the slave system?
Well, how do we get out of the matrix? We go into the microcosm.
There you go. It's the only way out.
The only way out is the only way in.
You got to extrapolate from limited information and swing on the vines of integrity through the jungle of mockingbirds and echo chambers. Somehow you found
Extrapolation Nation.
I saw this T-shirt. It said there's two kinds of people. Number one, people who can extrapolate from limited information.
Mm-hmm. And number two?
Well, you'd have to be able to extrapolate from limited information to figure out what number two is there, Rock and Rio. I'm sorry, dude.
Yeah.
You failed the test. You didn't understand the T-shirt. Therefore, you are not able to extrapolate from limited information.
You have to go chase that person down and look on the other side, and then there's inches everywhere.
That was what was funny about it, was there was no number two.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm just breaking your balls, Rock and Rio.
I know.
It's the last 7 minutes of our stay here at Ground Zero Plus on a Saturday night. Where's all the people? We don't know. But on some level, do we care? I mean, isn't it better when there is no people? It's like that fucking... You ever see the episode of Twilight Zone where there's a guy, he hates people, and all he wants to do is just read books, and he just wishes people would just go away and leave him alone. And then one day he wakes up, and there's no people. And he's as happy as a pig and shit. And now he walks over to the Library of Congress, starts climbing the stairs, and he's, salivating a little bit, wiping sweat off his brow, rubbing his hands together. He can't wait to get in there and read and not be bothered by all these pesky people. And as he starts making it to the top of the stairs, right when he gets close to the very top, he trips and falls. And his fucking glasses fall off. And they break. And now he's blind as a bat. And he can't read shit. And there's nobody left in the world.
Yeah, I saw that one. I think that was Wally Cox, wasn't it?
I don't remember who it was, but I never forgot it.
Yeah,
I
remember that one.
I think about
That was heavy.
I think about it every time I think about there's too many people, or how I don't like people, too many people being around. All right. We've gone too far, as usually. We've gone out on a limb, and Cock brought the chainsaw, and he's about to chop us off at the limb. All right, listen.
Yeah, I'm going to put my leather face on and say, adios, amigo. See you in the morning.
Well, you know what? I was shocked to find out that the names of all the popes are written in a book, and the cover of the book is made of human skin.
Oof.
Well, doesn't the Pope wear like human skin shoes or something too?
That's a little bit. I mean, I'm sorry to say, this is a little bit weird, man.
Well, I can tell you one thing. It isn't foreskin. Boom, boom.
Oh,
I don't know. That's a little bit much. All right, listen.
Everybody.
you watch out for the red shoes, man. It's the red shoes you got. Look, Karen just said the same thing. Watch out for the red shoes.
The ruby slippers.
Yeah.
All right. Tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock Pacific. See you then. Rio, you gonna be here?
I just wanna go somewhere.
Yeah,
to rest my head. Maybe somewhere.
Another 2 hours. You'll be there.
You spend a lot of time wondering why. Well, if you just take a deep look into my eyes, separate your heart from your mind. The only way to deal with this stress in these times. You're walking down a lonely road. You never know what the future holds. Are you feeling it's the right time? Rivers flow, turn the night light. Ancient scrolls says the time's right. Let me know, yeah. Are you feeling it's the right time? Rivers flow, turn the night light. Ancient scrolls says the time's right. Let me know. Some say smile 'cause it ain't that bad. Pop another pill, the doctor said. Remember those feelings that you felt? Well, maybe you should get some help. Take a little time to breathe it in. Well, I can feel the fleas crawling on my skin. You'll have to give in to your want. You make another call, ask for your feeling. It's the right time.